Hello. So today we are going to talk about how to upload samples to EGA and create a project. So whenever you try to submit a paper or you are trying to get your publication through some kind of nature journal, you are going to work with different types of sequencing data, and you would definitely want to create a study regarding your paper, right? Where you would want to upload all your data so that other people can access them through some kind of protocol. So basically, the reason why you would want to upload your samples to EGA, which is basically European Genome-phenome Archive, is because you want to give other people access to your samples, but you want to sort of do it in a formal way through like signing of some data access agreement. Okay. So today we are going to see how we can upload data to EGA. Also, almost all the journals will actually ask you to upload your samples to EGA if you want to publish in their reputed journals. So this is the EGA website. So if I want to just show you the website, so here it is. So you're going to get all sort of information from this particular website. But anyway, I will walk you through all the information. So first thing that you need to do is you have to register yourself as an EGA user. In order to do that, you can just go here. Okay. This is the European Genome-phenome Archive, by the way. If you search in Google using this, you are going to get to this page. And if you are watching this video like far away from 2024, then this format may change a little bit. Okay. So don't worry about that, but just follow along the instructions from this website and you will be good to go. The format will be similar to how I'm showing you. So this is the link for the registration. You can also find it somewhere here. So let me take you there. So you have to fill in these very preliminary information. But remember that the email address that you will fill, okay, this email address will be your institutional email address. So you have to belong to an institute that's authentic and that works with genome data, okay? And that email address you will have to provide here. So for me, I'm working in A*, so I'm providing my A* email address. So after you fill in this and then request for account creation, the EGA people will respond to you after several days and you will successfully create your account. Okay. So you can provide your username and password. That's fine. So once you have the EGA user account, you cannot actually submit your project. That means you cannot create a study ID in EGA for your project. You have to first request for EGA submitter role account. So for that, you have a link right here. So if I go here, so you're going to see that you can actually ask to become a submitter. So this is one way. And also what you can do is you can email the EGA people, okay? You can email the EGA people. I have given the email addresses here. You can also get them from the EGA website that I just showed you. You can email them that you need an EGA submitter role account, okay? And I mean, after maybe 1 week, they will get back to you with a specific submitter ID and password via your email. And you have to use that submitter ID and password when submitting your data. So now, okay, now if you have these two things, now you want to submit your study, right? So what does it look like? Let's take a tour. So first of all, this is the submitter portal. So if you go to the submitter portal, right, we take you there. You are going to, I mean, you are not going to get to this page. First of all, you need to input your user ID and password. Then you are going to go to this page. Okay. You can just create a new submission. I am not going to create a new submission. I am just going to show you how to work, how to do all of the things using an example submission that I already have. So this is a submission that I already have, and this is the EGA ID for my submission. Okay. So let's see all the things that we have for this particular submission. Let's walk you through here. So when you create a new submission, I've actually put down here the submission process. Let me walk you through one by one. So first of all, you create a new submission, like I showed you. So the first tab is the info tab. Okay. So we are now looking at the info tab here. So you just need to put your title and description. Description is nothing but the research abstract that you have in your paper. Okay. Then you have the study tab. So in your studies tab, you have to create a study. So let's just see what this looks like. Okay, so previously this was empty and I had to just add study here. So if I just take you through here, it's the title and description of your study. And remember that these title and description, these have to be very relevant and very descriptive, okay? Or else the EGA pupil will not actually approve of your submission. So that's the first thing. So after you do that, then you move on to the next tab, that is samples, okay? So in the samples, samples is basically where you will upload the meta info of your samples. So what is meta info of your samples? Let us see. So obviously, if you have like 400 samples or maybe 1000 samples, you are not going to upload your sample meta info one by one, right? Rather, you would want to upload some kind of CSV file where all the information are already there. And you want the EGA to automatically populate all those info from those CSV file. So that's what we are going to do. So if you just select batch upload, okay, if you select batch upload, you can just download their CSV file format from here. So I already have a file prepared and I will show you how it looks like. So let me see here. Yes, so samples.csv via Excel. So these headers will be there. Okay, all of these headers, areas, title, description, biological sex, subject ID, phenotype, etc., will be there. And these fields that I filled up are the mandatory fields. So you are going to have to fill up these, okay, or else this will not work. And the other things like bar sample ID, case control, those things you may choose to fill or you may choose to leave. Okay, that's your choice. Now, so basically alias is your sample name. So suppose WHC557 is one of my sample names. This is a female patient. This was the patient ID, and this is a healthy sample. This is the phenotype. Okay, so you have to fill in these things for all the different samples that you have. So these are the sample meta info. So I have 365 samples, and I did it for all these samples. So after you fill up these things, you are just going to upload these using the batch upload. Okay, just upload it here. So once you do that, you are going to see all these things being populated beautifully. Okay. So initially, these IDs will not be there. These IDs will be there only when your submission gets approved, but that we will discuss later. Okay. Then we go to the experiments section. So, experiments, it's actually more or less formality. So you will have to link it to your study that you provided before here. And you will need a lot of help here from the sequencing pupil. Let me tell you why you will need a lot of help from the sequencing pupil here. So let's just go here right now. So you can see that you have that this is the study that you filled before in the studies tab. And then all of these things are basically going to be provided by the people who are involved in the sequencing process. Okay, so just fill those things up using their help. So after you do that, we are going to go to, oh, by the way, this will not be there initially. You will have to just do the add experiment, which is pretty intuitive. Next, just go to the runs tab. So this is the most difficult tab, okay? And I will walk you through the details of the entire process. So what is the work of the runs tab? So previously in the samples tab, you uploaded your meta info, right? So you had the sample names, right? And their different information such as biological sex, phenotype, their patient ID, etc. Right? So you want to link your sample names to all the sample files that you uploaded in EGA. Okay. So basically you are now linking these sample names to your uploaded files. Now, several questions have arisen here. First of all, how do we even upload my samples in the EGA? That's the first question, right? So this is the first thing that we will have to do. Before we fill in this runs tab, the first thing we have to do is we have to upload the samples in EGA. And this is a long process, and I will walk you through the entire process. So first thing first, you will have to encrypt all your samples that you want to upload, the sample files. So how do you do that? There is a Python package called crypt for GH, and you can very easily install it using pip. Okay. So if you run this command, it will encrypt your file. So what does this command mean? So basically here sample.bam is the input file that you want to upload. And this is the encrypted version of this input file. Remember that all the encrypted files should have this C4GH extension. Okay. There is one more thing in this command, which is this ingestion.pub key. So this is the public key that is used to encrypt this sample.bam into sample.bam.c4gh. Now, the question is, how do we get this public key, right? So in order to get this public key, you have to simply go to this link. I mean, if this link doesn't work, just go through some tabs of the website, of the EGA website, and you are going to find the encryption process using crypt4gh. Okay. So, okay, let me take you through that particular website. So if you go here, you are going to see that this is basically the encryption file. So if you just create a file named ingestion.pubkey and just copy paste this, right, and save, then that's basically your public key. Yeah. So that's the public key. So now you have basically I have shown you how to encrypt one BAM file or one, I mean, it doesn't have to be BAM file, it can be FASTQ file or any other file. You just have to have the C4J extension. So you can similarly encrypt all possible files that you have that you want to upload in the EGA, right? So that's the first step, and it may take some time, okay, if your files are big. And this particular place has a lot of information regarding crypt4gh, including installation process. So this is not the only way that you can actually encrypt your files. You can also use this EGA cryptor, which is Java based, but this is actually more problematic, okay, because you are going to need to produce checksum files and other things for this. But for crypt4gh, you don't need any checksum files or anything else, okay? The only thing you need is to create this C4GH for each sample. Okay. Now that you have encrypted all your files, you need to upload the encrypted samples in the EGA inbox. Remember that you are only allowed to upload these encrypted samples and not the original ones. That means the C4GH samples. The EGA payable will decrypt it. Okay, so you don't need to worry about that. So how do you access this EGA inbox where you will have to upload the encrypted samples? So basically, this is the host name for the EGA inbox. Now, if this host name doesn't work, right, then you can obviously contact the EGA people, but this is the host name as of now. And the user ID and password are the same as your submitter portal, because previously you obtained that here, if you remember this correctly. Now you can access your EGA inbox in several ways. So one very useful way is to just access via local terminal, because if you are working from a server, or if you're working, yeah, I mean, if you're working in a remote server, you want to upload all your files from your remote server to the EGA inbox, right? In that case, you will have to use the terminal. So you can access the EGA inbox using this command, okay? So first of all, just type SFTP, then your user ID of the submitter portal at the rate of this host name, okay? And when you press enter, they will ask for the password, and just give the submitter portal password, and you will be able to access the EGA inbox. So if you have accessed the EGA inbox in this way, right? Then I mean, it's not very easy, right? It's not going to be very easy because now there's a simple command to upload files from your local terminal or the terminal of your server to the EGA inbox. Let me show that first. I mean, besides this way, you can also access via PuTTY, WinSCP, FileZilla, etc. WinSCP and FileZilla are specifically important because you can visualize what you have uploaded using these things, this software. So I will discuss them a little bit, but let me first tell you how to upload a local file, right, or a server file using terminal to EGA inbox. So this is the command. So you can just use this put command. So this is the local file path, right? So remember, this is very important. First, you have to SFTP into your EGA inbox, and only then you can actually use this command. So you have to use put, then your local file path that you have. So it can be maybe folder1 slash some file, and you have to upload it into the encrypted folder of the EGA inbox. Okay. So encrypted is the EGA inbox directory where you will need to upload your samples. So let me just show you this. Let me just show you this in WinSCP. So I have already mentioned that WinSCP FileZilla, these things are very useful to visualize what has been uploaded in the EGA inbox. So this is how it looks like when I access the EGA inbox using WinSCP. So I can see all my files, right? So if you want, you can just delete a few files from here. I mean, it's your wish, or you can modify the names or whatnot. So that's basically how to upload the files. Okay. And if you want to know how I got here using WinSCP, it's very easy. I mean, if you have the host name, right? You have the host name and you have the EGA password, EGA submitter portal password. So you can actually use those two things to access via WinSCP. If you just see any standard tutorial for WinSCP, you can follow along and do this. It's very simple. You just need the host name and the password. So, okay. One thing I want you to note here is that do not upload any other files apart from your encrypted C4GH format files, okay? If you do that, then you are going to face ingestion error and other errors when you do your final submission. So don't do that. Okay. So yeah, I've already mentioned this, like you can go there using WinSCP. Okay, so basically this is how you upload your files in EGA. So now your uploading of files in EGA is done. Now you will have to link your files to already uploaded meta info. So this is what I was talking about right here, that now that you have all your files uploaded and you have all your sample meta info right here, you will need to link. You will need to link the sample names uploaded here in the CSV file with the uploaded files, right? So you can just do a batch upload like before because you may have many samples. Just download the format. So, and obviously you will have to specify which format is it, okay? So in my case, it was BAM format, so I specified it in that way. And the experiment is the one you mentioned before. So you have mentioned experiments here, just link it to that. So these things I have already mentioned here. So let's see what the batch upload file looks like. Okay, let's go here, runs.csv. So, okay, runs.csv. So you have the sample. This is the sample alias or sample name that you had in your sample.csv file, if you remember before, right here. Okay. And this is basically the encrypted file that I uploaded corresponding to that sample. Now slash is important here because without the slash, it will not work. Okay, just give the slash before each sample name. Now, since I'm uploading BAM file, they actually allow a pair of files to be connected. So if I wanted, I could just write file2 here, and I could also provide the wac556.sort.bam.bai.c4gh there. Okay, so both both encrypted BAM and BI would be there. It depends completely on what format of files you are working with. Okay, but I just decided to upload the BAM file because the BI file can easily be produced using some tools. Okay, so I have mentioned these things right here. And when you are done with this rams.csv file, just upload it. Just upload it here. So once you do that, if EGA is able to find all your samples in the EGA inbox and the sample alias names in the meta info file, then it will successfully create all these things. Okay, and these IDs will not be there initially. These IDs will not be there initially. Okay, but later on, when your submission is approved, these IDs will be there. Okay. Now, there may be some errors if EGA is unable to find some files in your EGA inbox, so definitely check whether whether the upload is okay, or if you cannot find the reason, then contact the EGA PO. Now we have to go to the analysis tab. So this is very simple actually. Let me show you. This will not be there initially, just error analysis first. So when you just type here, you can see that I have all my samples here. So you can just tick mark all your samples to link them with this analysis. Just link the study as well from these studies. So if you just click here, the study will pop up. And this is very important. So what is the analysis.csv file? So basically, your paper is on something, right? So it analyzes some attribute of the samples we're uploading. So you can just provide those information. So let me show a sample file. Okay. So this is my analysis.csv file. If I walk you through this, this is the sample areas. You remember this, right? This is sample name. This is sample name provided in the previous samples.csv file. Okay. And this is the Fraggle predicted ctDNA fraction. So basically our task was to predict ctDNA fraction. That is why I'm providing all the fractions here. So first of all, you are going to have to encrypt this again into the .c4gh format, then upload it in the EGA inbox. And after you do that, then when you click here and type analysis, it will automatically show you that, okay, analysis.csv is there and you can just click on it. But definitely remember that you will have to upload this in the EGA inbox, I mean the encrypted version, okay? And only then you can access from here. So you can see this here actually. I'm going to show you here as well. So, okay, so here I've uploaded it, okay? So remember that. Okay, so that's that for the analysis section. Finally, you have the datasets section. Let me show you that as well. Datasets. So here, this ID is very important because you are going to share this ID with your reviewers and your editors of the journal for them to access and to authenticate your submission. So let me show you what this dataset actually looks like. So this title and description is very, very important. You will have to give detailed description of your data set. You have to link all your samples with the data set. These are samples you uploaded before. This policy is also very important. Now, this is the data access policy, okay? And it depends completely on your institution. So ask them about it, and they will tell you details of the policy. So let me show a sample policy, okay? So in our case, this was our original policy number. Now, normally your institution probably will not remember this number. They will only remember something like that this policy is for cfDNA, for maybe healthy and cancer patients. So just keep typing these things and you will see your appropriate like data accession policy number, okay? And fill it up. So after you do this, so you are done. Now there will be something here called finalize submission. You can just press it. So after you press finalize submission, they will ask you to check the file extensions. So just check it. And finally, you are going to have to provide a release date for a dataset. So you can probably provide that date as 1 month after you submit this for approval, okay? Or maybe 15 days, something like that. So after you do that, you just finalize your submission. If everything is okay, now you are going to have to wait for the EGA people to approve. Now, sometimes you are going to face errors, and the most infamous error here is the ingestion error, okay? I have mentioned these things here. I have mentioned these things here. So let me show you where you will find this error. So when you see the ingestion error, just go here in the Files tab and go to the ingested files. So these blue marked files, the ingested files are fine. But for some files, you are going to see error. And those are the things that went wrong, okay? So you need to recheck those things, that if you have uploaded them correctly. If you don't find any problems with those files, then definitely contact the EGA people immediately, okay? So that's the part. And now if everything is okay, then you have to wait. And after waiting maybe 1 week or 2 weeks, you are going to get the approval, okay? So when your submission is approved, let me show you my submissions. When your submission is approved, it will look something like this, okay? So this is closed, okay? So before approval, this will remain open, okay? So now you have the ID and everything for this, but this study will not be public yet. So I mean, people in the EGA website and browsing the web will not be able to find this, because you have scheduled your release date at some particular date. Say, I mean, today is 7th January, so I have scheduled my release date at 1 February. So it isn't public yet. So it will be public after 1 February. So that's the entire process. Okay, that's the entire process of data and project upload in EGA. And I hope that if you follow this format, you will be good to go. Okay. So thank you everyone for your time.